Today we're going to read Ariel and the Aquamarine Jewel. One glorious summer morning, Ariel was enjoying a walk along the beach. She was just about to return to the palace when at her toe struck something hard in the sand. "Ouch!" she cried. She not entirely used to the feel of human feet. After all, it hadn't been that long since she'd been a mermaid. She looked down and saw something gleaming. She moved a layer of seaweed and picked it up. "What you got there, princess?" her friend, Scuttle, the seagull, asked. "Looks like a piece of that sweet gobble-oppin' you humans like so much." Then he stuck out his tongue and licked it. "Blah!" Ariel laughed. "I think you mean candy," she told her friend. "And no, I don't think it's that. I think it's a jewel," she cried. Since the jewel had been wrapped in seaweed and was lying on the shore, perhaps it had come from the sea. "Scuttle," she said, "please go find Sebastian and ask him to get my father." The seagull flew off and found Sebastian the crab, who summoned the king. A short while later, Ariel's father, King Triton, had emerged from the beach from beneath the waves. "Ariel, my dear," declared the king. "Sebastian said you called." "Yes, father," said Ariel. "You see, I found this lovely jewel and—" King Triton looked astonished. "Where in the sea did you find it?" he asked. "Actually," said Ariel, "I found it on the shore." "Did you know where it came from?" "I can show you," said the king sadly, "but I'll have to change you back into a mermaid to do it." With a blast from his mighty Triton, that's exactly what he did. Gripping the watercolor jewel, Ariel dove into the sea after her father. She nearly had forgotten how wonderful it felt to be there. By the time she and King Triton reached the gates of Atlantia, she felt very comfortable. It was as if she'd never left. "Why, father," cried Ariel excitedly, "this jewel's from Atlantica." Ariel's excitement faded, however, when her father led her to his throne room. "Why, it looks as if a tidal wave has been through here," she said with a gasp. And Atlantic's treasure is gone." "Alas," the King Triton said sadly, "it's true." "Can you believe it? For 1,000 years this chest had kept our kingdom's treasure safe, and then one giant wave comes and washes it all away. That aquamarine is just one of dozens of gems that were lost to us, I'm afraid. And though we've been searching ever since, it's still the only one that's ever been found." "Don't worry, father," said Ariel. "I'll help you find the other jewels. After all, I'm a pretty good treasure hunter, if I do say so myself." And with a swish of her tail, she was off. First, Ariel decided to search the old sunken ship, a place she knew like the back of her fin. She swam in and out of the gallon until she had found close to a dozen of the missing jewels. Next, it was off to the coral reef, where it was easy to understand how jewels could be overlooked among all the deep crevices and bright colors. But with a little help from her friend Flounder and some other dear old friends, more lost jewels were found. Ariel is our best treasure hunter out of all us princesses. If we ever lose anything, we know who to call. In fact, by the time the tide turned, Atlantic's treasures chest was full once more. "Ariel, on behalf of Atlantica, I say thank you," said King Triton. "I'm just glad all the jewels are back where they belong," she replied. The king thought for a moment. "Actually," he said, "I'm not sure that they are all where they belong quite yet." He reached into the treasure chest and pulled out the beautiful aquamarine that Ariel had found on the beach. Giving Ariel a kiss on the top of her head, King Triton placed the jewel around her neck. Then it was time for Ariel to swim back to her own castle and become a human princess once again. She said goodbye to her father and at the beach. That night, Ariel told Prince Eric about the lost jewels, the tidal wave, and how wonderful it had felt to swim at home with her father and to help Atlantica. As she gazed out the sea, Ariel touched the aquamarine jewel hanging around her neck. She knew that her father and the rest of the family were never far away. Even so, it felt good to have a piece of Atlantico with her always. Thank you for reading with me today. I hope you have a good rest of your day and get outside.